Right, it's the developing story this hour. The media solutions side of the Multichoice Building has been evacuated after a fire that started this afternoon. The cause of the fire is not yet known, but what's understood is that everyone in the building was asked to leave it while there were efforts to contain the blaze. There are no confirmed injuries at this stage, and there's been no service disruptions as a result of that fire. Let's get some more on the story. We'll cross to our reporter, Nozintombi Miya, who is in Randburg. Very good afternoon to you, Nozintombi. Describe to us what's happening where you are.
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Nzinga. You're quite right. The fire here has been contained. We understand from emergency services and security personnel here at Multichoice that the fire broke out shortly at around 1 o'clock, and this was as a response to some sort of a fault that happened with the air conditioning, and that caused the fire to break out, and that technical part of the building here at Multichoice to be evacuated. We understand that the Randburg fire station is less than 2 kilometers from here, and they responded relatively swiftly. We know that the fire stations from Sandton and various other parts of Johannesburg emergency services and fire stations responded to the call, and we do know that there have been no injuries. But to talk to us a little bit more about this, Nzinga, we have Nana Radebe from EMS. Thank you so much, Nana, for joining me. Nana, you received the call from the Randburg fire station. Just talk to us about that.
Someone walked in at the station to say that there was a fire at Multichoice. Then we had managed to come out with the skid, and they started with firefighting. We had seen that the fire was on top of the roof, and then it was the air conditioning system that was affected. It took plus minus 40 minutes to contain the fire and ventilate the whole building.
Now, one of the concerns was that the Randburg fire station brought the skid, which is the vehicle you can see behind us, the small fire engine, and it took the Sandton fire station coming here to be able to help contain that fire. Is that not concerning the issue around capacity?
As we have said, when the skid units were bought, these are our first responders. They'll be able to climb up to a fire incident, size up the incident, and be able to start with firefighting. And they had done that. Within 8 minutes, Sandton Fire Station was on scene as well, and they'd managed to contain the fire and make sure that no one is injured.
Nana, we've seen in the past couple of months several buildings in and around Johannesburg affected by fire or catching fire, a result of the issue of the air conditioning. Is this not concerning as emergency services?
We have responded to a number of big buildings that had problems with their air conditioning systems, but we have not seen it as a highlight as yet, but we are seeing that it's continuing, and we are hoping that the companies are seeing that as well. But we also have our fire safety officers that are on scene to ensure that they're able to advise and work with them in terms of the ventilation systems, what they can use, and where to do fire safety, to have fire safety equipment in case of a fire.
And obviously you did speak to management here. Do we have an idea of how many people were evacuated and the extent of the damage of the fire?
Not as yet. We had only managed to find out that they had evacuated everyone from the building, and it was part of the technical site that was affected. It's not the whole building that is affected.
All right, thank you, Nana Radebe. Then Nzinga, just giving us an idea of what really had happened early this afternoon at around 1 o'clock. You can see behind me that the first responding car, which is called a skit from the Randburg fire station, responded within 2 minutes. He came here and started dousing the fire. 8 minutes later, the Sandton fire station came and they helped contain the fire within 40 minutes. And we understand that the issue of the air conditioning, apparently there was some sort of work happening on the roof of this particular technical building, and due to some sort of mistake or something happening, the air conditioning then obviously caught fire, which resulted in this portion of the building being evacuated, and emergency services personnel, fire engines, and the security here at Multichoice responding to the scene and making sure that the fire was contained and there were no injuries or deaths as a result of the fire in Nzinga.
Nozintombi Miya giving us an update from outside Multichoice there, of course, on that fire that broke out a little bit earlier on. Thanks for that.